Sliding into your screen is not just any coffee bag. It's a Roastar coffee bag. Don't need thousands. Personalized just 25 in Roastar's Design Lab. No design experience needed. Choose a pattern, add your logo and text, or create something memorable with AI. Being made in the Midwest, you can expect it on your doorstep in no time. Now that was smooth.
We'll get started and I'll say, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Coffee People Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Woldt. This show is presented by Roastar Coffee Packaging, found online at roastar.com. We're on location today at 10 Speed Coffee Bar in Hood River with our guest, Ben Saur, owner, manager, farmer, I believe.
I also farm, yeah.
You've been in this coffee location for a long time. What's your role today at 10 Speed?
This very day, or today as in?
Generally speaking, like, are you day-to-day behind the bar?
Yeah.
Are you managing and owning? Like,
Yeah.
what's your role?
So I have a manager who does most of the day-to-day. I'm still here paying bills, writing paychecks, checking in, keeping everyone happy, making sure the shop's running smoothly. This time of the year, I do a lot more farm-related things. I'm pretty busy on the farm. So my role this time of year is pretty minimal. In the winter, I'm here a little bit more, quite a bit more, really. And we'll even work shifts. I actually worked a couple shifts last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So if someone's out of town, I think we have 2 people out of town. I'm kind of
You're the guy.
I'm the last option.
Last line. It wasn't always like that though.
Yeah, right.
How long have you been here? Like 18 years in coffee or longer?
This shop has been here for, it'll be 20 years this fall.
Okay.
I have been at this shop almost 18 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I spent, I think, a little over 4 years working. I managed for a little bit, and then I bought it in 2012, I think.
Okay.
So this is
That's kind of cool that you kind of worked your way in, knew it intimately, and then invested into something you kind of knew and had spent the time investment in.
Yeah. Brian, who started 10 Speed, we used to roast here too. There's still the vent right there.
Oh yeah?
We used to have a little 5K Pro Bat roaster. He wanted to expand. He bought a building, and he was told me, well, we're gonna move. And I told him, I said, you can't leave this spot. Like, he was the only, when he started, everyone thought he was a little bit nuts for starting up here in the Heights. Hood River has a downtown that's very, is the busy part of Hood River, especially tourist season. You get a lot of tourist traffic.
I've been part of that tourist traffic.
Everyone thought he was nuts for not being down there, for opening up here on the Heights. So when he decided he wanted to move a little closer to downtown, have a bigger building, expand, roasting, everything, he said, well, if you want to buy in and run this place, you can. And so I said, all right. So,
I kind of like that idea, though, that he didn't want to depend on that tourism traffic.
Yeah.
I've been in those tourist areas running businesses and restaurants, and if the tourists aren't there, you're kind of screwed because locals don't necessarily want to go there either and stand in line with everyone coming in.
And it's very seasonal.
Yeah. Because it's windsurfing, right? Wind kiting?
Yeah, it started as windsurfing in the 80s and 90s, and now it's all sorts of things: kiteboarding, foiling. Now people have. I feel weird talking about it because I really don't know.
These kids today in their sports, I'll tell you.
But there's so many different things that people do on that river.
What is it that their X Games and their action adventures? Nobody really quite knows.
But so when he started, it was, now Hood River has grown a lot in the last 20 years. So it's less, it would be less risky or weird to like open something up here.
Yeah.
But 20 years ago, that was a big deal.
Yeah. Well, even then, when you would have invested in, say, 8-9 years into its adventure, that probably wasn't quite the most obvious solution, other than you were already here, right?
We were already here, and then he was moving down, so we had kind of built in competition, and we were both called 10-speed. He was the roastery, I was the coffee bar.
Okay.
But he had a coffee bar down there too, and everything.
Yeah. What made you think, as the barista here, the shop manager, that you wanted to be an owner? Because it's a different responsibility.
I have done coffee since I was 18.
Okay.
And so I've always really loved it. I love the craft of it. I love the social aspect of it. I love the community aspect of it. I had gotten married. We had moved to Portland for a couple years, and I had still kind of worked here off and on. I ended up commuting actually back here to work because we knew we were going to move back. Anyway, so then shortly after that was when he wanted to move down there, and I was ready.
Yeah.
I loved the spot, I loved the people, and I was ready. It was that time in my life I was ready to. I knew we were going to settle here. We had been living here for a long time. We both grew up here, went to high school here. But it was that time in my life where I was ready to commit to something.
Feels like moving to Portland is something that you're supposed to do when you're young, and you grew up outside of Portland, and then you end up finding your place. Coffee in Hood River generally. I mean, you mentioned it was risky 20 years ago here, but right now when I'm in town, it feels like, why isn't there's probably a coffee shop every other block, and it would be okay. How has coffee culture here changed? And I say that a little bit. So the coffee I'm drinking is your French press brewed kickstand house brew, and it's a really lovely, come in, it's ready to go cup of coffee.
Yeah.
A lot of small towns, maybe you don't have that. Maybe the expectation is less, but clearly it's something you guys care about. So how have things changed from when you started to now?
Yeah.
In the community, expectation wise?
Well, I think coffee in general has changed a lot from 20 years ago. I think 20 years ago was like maybe, I don't know the exact dates of everyone tracking, but that was kind of the birth of the third wave. And you had places like Stumptown opening in Portland, and so there was a lot of energy, but in a small town, it was still pretty foreign,
Yeah.
And when Brian first opened this, he did pour overs only.
Oh, really?
No pre-made drip coffee at all, which we've sent,
I started in a shop that only did pour overs. So
you had no drip coffee, nothing in an air pot. So it was kind of a big shock for people.
Price point too.
It was a brave move for him. But as specialty coffee and kind of third wave, whatever, became kind of more common and people kind of figured out what it was. Yeah, I think it's a slow change in a small town. We still have drive-through coffee places that are busy.
That seems to be a thing in the Pacific Northwest generally, though. The drive-through.
Yes. Well, I feel like we were just talking about this yesterday. Washington has a huge drive-through. Like in the 90s, it was it just blew up. There was drive-through kiosks everywhere. Mm-hmm. That's how my brother, I think, started in coffee. He's also been in coffee a long time, working at like a buddy's drive-through coffee kiosk. So how has it changed? I think Hood River itself has changed a lot as it's grown. Mm-hmm. Hood River used to be mainly agriculture, working class, farming community, and then it slowly became more of tourism. And then now it's really become almost like a resort town feel. We have the mountain really close. We have the river. So there's a lot of like recreation based.
Sure.
And then it's always on the list of, the top 50 places to live in the U.S.
I don't like those lists.
I know.
Every time I see a city that I'm living in on that list, I want to move because I know what's coming.
No, don't say that. So land, housing gone up, all the kind of things that you expect. Which a lot of them are bad, and some of them are good. And I think the good part is that you can have a little more specialty business,
Right.
like a little coffee shop that focuses on quality and community.
One thing I noticed about your coffee shop here is, and I say this as the greatest compliment I can give, simple menu. It's like coffee, your basics, espresso, americano, cappuccino. I don't see any like crazy acai bowls. I love an acai bowl, but the menu is simple. It's very clear what you're getting. These are our beans. Is there a reason why you haven't gone on to that? Like, it seems to be a really big thing. Like, how can we pack more things into the offering here, especially with a more eclectic audience coming in? Why keep the focus simple? Why keep it on coffee?
So I've been working to streamline our menu as long as I've been here.
Yeah.
When we first opened, when Brian opened it, I think he had to have a bigger menu to try to get either more people or to get a higher transaction per person. Selling $3 to $5 cups of coffee wasn't going to cut it for a business for him. And so he did a lot more food. He did a lot more drink options. We used to have smoothies. And then kind of, even before I bought it, I really tried to streamline the menu. And then when I took over, I really started to pare things down. And every year we do something less.
I will say, when I came in, both your baristas commented to me about how happy they were there were no smoothies on the menu.
Yeah, that's been a few years. But one winter I ended up taking the blender home, and I'm like, I'm not bringing it back. So now we have a Vitamix at home that we use. But we only do a few food options. We don't even do bagels and cream cheese anymore. And my staff's been really good at that too, where last year they said, we just aren't selling it very much.
Is that the motivation then? Is it just a product that isn't selling, or is not like demand? Customers don't come in and be like, why don't you do this?
Yeah. I think it's both. Yeah. I think I have the intention of having a small menu so we can really focus on doing a little bit really well rather than doing a lot mediocre. We also have a really small shop physically, dimensions, and we don't have a kitchen. We don't have any like prep space. So doing food is kind of a pain in the ass. Also, we only have 2 people on staff at any given time. And we can get really busy. And to move through drinks and get people through the line and get their coffee to them is so much quicker when you're not doing a lot of food, you're not doing a lot of smoothies. So when you have a really streamlined menu, I feel like it's a better customer service tool.
Yeah.
Or it's a better customer service
I personally love the
environment.
Like that it's easy and simple, and I don't like going into a place and having to think too hard about my coffee in the morning. I'm already struggling. I just want to know that it's going to be good, whatever I order. You mentioned your brother a couple times. I think his name is Tim. Did I get that right? And then you and your partner and Tim have Saur Farms, Saur Family Farms?
Yeah, my wife and I.
Your wife and I?
My brother helped me start it, and then he's not in it anymore.
What is the farm? Like, what's the situation there? And then why do it as well as, you already have a coffee shop that you own, and now you're farming. I grew up in a farming community. It's not an easy gig, even if you're just doing it on a small scale. Yeah.
I got into farming before I took over the shop. So, I started the farm. It was very small, just kind of like someone's big backyard. And then just because I was excited about it, I got into it. I was reading books about it. And kind of the same time as we moved back to Hood River from Portland, that's when we started the farm. And it was just like, none of us had any experience really. So it was like, let's just start, see what happens. We'll start really small and just kind of learn how to do this. And then I ended up buying the shop, I think, after our first year farming. So I was working here full time in farming. And then it just every year we just kind of got bigger, and then we found a piece of land to buy. So it was kind of like I had two passions. And at that point, to me, coffee was, the shop was already set up.
Right.
I don't think I would have started a brand new shop while I was farming, but buying into this and running this was a lot easier than starting something from scratch. So it just felt like I might as well do both. And farming, we didn't really have any income for a while.
Said every farmer ever.
Yeah. And especially starting out and not knowing anything, we had no, like I said, we had no experience.
And your farm's kind of unique in that, did I see that it's like a horse-powered farm?
Yeah, so we have a team of workhorses that do a lot of the primary cultivation and a lot of jobs on the farm.
Are horses something that you are, is it farming based, like this is a need that we have for the type of farming we want to do, or is like horses something that you are, I don't want to say passionate about, but you appreciate or that you had experience with? Because horses terrify the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. They seem really smart and strong.
As I was getting into farming, I was also getting into the idea of farming with horses.
Yeah.
And so I actually found this old timer living in the Dalles, which is about 20 miles east of here, who had a team of workhorses. And I saw him in a periodical. At a Sisters, Oregon, there's a periodical called Small Farms Journal.
Okay.
Small Farmers Journal. And it's mainly draft power, horse or oxen or whatever. So I was living in the city, reading these beautiful, idyllic stories of farming with horses. And I found this letter to the editor, and it was from someone in the Dalles. And so I just got the phone book out, and I called every one of the Dalles with that last name until I found him.
A phone book. It's this book that used to get left at your house with a list of phone numbers of everyone in your community. It's a whole thing. You should Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found them, and I said, hey, I really want to learn. And they said, sure, come on out. So I did that. Then I ended up finding someone else in Parkdale, which is where I live now, who worked with horses. So it was kind of all these things coming together. I was getting into that. We were starting the farm here, and then it wasn't until we had our own place, our own property, that I was able to buy a team of horses and start doing it.
Is there any overlap in the work you do on the farm and the work you do here, where you're working with plants and animals and your partner at home, and then here is more of a people-based business? Do you see lessons that you learn in one that you take to the other? I mean, it's kind of a broad question. I apologize, but
I think the my overarching passion is community. And I think, so we got married in 2009. We moved to Portland. My wife finished school there, and then we moved back. And part of being away from here was realizing how much community really mattered to me. And so when we moved back, I think there was a big driving. I was kind of trying to figure out
Any summer plans?
kind of like personal philosophy, I guess, and like what I want out of life.
Sure.
And one of the things that I really discovered was my love and need for community. So I think the coffee shop was something, like I said, I've done since I was 18, and even in high school hung out at coffee shops. So there's always been a community element of coffee shops that I've always really liked, and that's one of the reasons I've done it for so long. Farming for me was also community-based. So I didn't want to grow food, a commodity crop, and then just ship it off somewhere. I wanted to sell it to people I knew. I wanted to sell it in my community. So that was a big piece of it too, was the farm as part of the community, not just me farming, growing food, and then shipping it to who knows where. So I think why I like both of them is that farming can feel somewhat isolating at times, although we do have a crew now. But I think you're right. There is kind of like you're working by yourself or with someone else, and that's kind of it. And so coming down to town and like being at the coffee shop kind of scratches that itch for like social. But I think both of them are kind of under my kind of life philosophy of community.
Was it harder to build community when you went to Portland?
In Portland?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we realized shortly after we moved there that we weren't going to stay there.
Okay.
So that also maybe was a thing. We never really got involved in a community there. I tried a little bit, you know. But it's hard. I mean, it's hard in a big city to find people.
I'm going through a move right now, and that's one of the things that we're leaving a community that we built over 12 years.
Yeah.
Work community, person community, coffee shop community. And I think that's much scarier than the idea of picking up and moving. We're moving to a place where we don't know anyone, we don't know if the vibe will be, you know, our vibe. And I am fairly comfortable being alone, but even even I have like a need to be social. And my wife has a much bigger social meter than I do, and so it's probably our biggest concern. I think more than anything else, logistically. And some places are harder than others.
Yeah.
And if it's not your instinct to be social, then it can be tough. Which is why I think coffee shops are so important. As we've been sitting in here, I don't know, a bunch of people have come in and out, and of all different, persuasions, so to speak. That word sounds weird when I say it. I don't think that's probably the right word to use.
All different
anymore.
demographics.
All different demographics. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it just sounded weird coming out of my mouth. And so you're connecting with people and their story on a scale where this might be their only social experience for the day. That's a big responsibility. Where I'm going with this is, after so many years in this industry and then in farming, do you think you are a better or a different leader now than you were then?
Leader?
Yeah. How has your leadership style changed? Because you seem very relaxed to me. Don't seem super anxious about what's going on around you. Like, you seem to trust your team.
Yeah, that's probably changed.
Yeah.
I definitely, when I took over the coffee shop, I definitely was more anxious about everything. I remember someone calling and complaining about maybe their chai, and I remember they didn't like it for some reason. I don't remember the details now, but I asked them. I said, I will bring you new drinks. And I drove new drinks to their house and delivered them. Because I really was worried about pleasing everyone, And I think since then, I have a lot of trust in my staff. I worked really hard to have a good reputation for quality, both in coffee and customer service. But I think I've discovered, or I've come to the conclusion that you're just never going to please everyone.
Yeah.
And so, as long as I know we did a good job, and I don't stress the little stuff anymore. Like, if someone's not happy with us for some reason, obviously we do a good job. Oh, can we fix it? Whatever. But I don't lose sleep over it anymore. There's just certain people you're not going to ever please. And there's also certain cafes that are just not your spot.
Yeah.
And there's different personalities. And someone has an off day and might be a little rude to a customer. I'm going to apologize, of course. But I'm also like, we just might not be your shop. If that happens a lot, like maybe it's you.
That's my fear.
Maybe it's the customer. And our friend Michael, who was just here, he had a shop, and Michael, when he first started, was a lot like me when I took over this shop. He was really worried about making sure everyone was happy, and he was great at it. And one of the reasons I liked not being downtown was that we didn't have the same high high needy type of customers
Sure.
that really needed to make a stink about everything and wanted to be appeased. We have a very small shop, like I've said, and it almost weeds people out because everyone can hear you in this shop. Like if you speak up, everyone in the shop can hear you, and they're all going to look at you. So it kind of weeds out the assholes. As far as leadership, which is your question, I think that I've landed on, obviously you want to lead by example. I think all of my best bosses did that. I talked about Michael.
Yeah.
He was really good at hospitality. So we learn from if we have good bosses or even bad bosses that have, maybe you learn from their mistakes, or maybe they have good attributes that you learn from. All the bosses that I've had that I've liked always led by example. I think that's the best way to lead. And because I'm not here as much, there's going to be a little less example that I can lead with. But trying to pass down your ethics and your culture to your employees is really important, and everyone does that in different ways. I've kind of come to the conclusion that once you find good people, I want to work as hard as I can to keep them. And I think, to me, that's how leadership is about. Like enabling your staff. Like, what can I do for you guys? Like, what do you guys need? How can I make you happy? And so finding good people and then keeping them,
Sure.
to me is like maybe the biggest thing that I've learned.
As a manager for other people, I've always tried to fight for employees because I found that it made my job so much easier. Yeah. Because they would invest then because they felt that they were being appreciated. I also think that because of your farming experience, you start to think of things maybe on a longer timeline. And coffee is I love the idea that you sit with a cup of coffee, but it's a quick transactional experience. Sure. And so you kind of have both of those worlds competing with each other at all times. And I think maybe from the outside, I'm going, I wonder how that might make it easier to do it the other way, because you realize from the farming side, what happens today isn't the end of the story. Right. And from the coffee side, we're getting this reinforcement day after day of what we're doing.
And I think too, just having the experience of like being in somewhere for a long time, it gives you that, I think, perspective, like that long-term perspective as well. So like I've been here almost 18 years in the shop, which sounds wild, almost half my life. So I think that gives you kind of a little more long-term perspective.
The time seems to be going by really fast.
Yeah.
When I look back at the things that I've done, someone yesterday mentioned like, oh, you seem to have had a really interesting career. And it's like, yeah, but it's been over 25 years. I mean, I've been working since I was like 13.
Yeah, same.
And so even younger if you don't tell the health department or the local board. But over that time, you just naturally have all these different experiences that lead into like you finding your way, hopefully. Right. Which is what I feel like sitting here. Like, oh yeah, this seems like it's a place that's lived in and worn, and the excess has been stripped away.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I have all these questions that I wrote down, and I probably should ask some of them.
Sure.
But I think we knocked out most of it. So cool. I have two last important questions. The first one is, if you were out and about and you stopped at someone else's coffee shop on the road, what are you going to order?
Well, unfortunately, my body does not like caffeine anymore. Which is kind of the irony of my coffee profession, is that I can't drink a whole lot of caffeine. So it's probably gonna be something decaf. A lot of it's gonna depend on the shop. So when I walk in, I'm gonna try to read the room a little bit. And I'm gonna look at their machine, see what they have. I'm gonna look at their menu and see what they have. If it's a place that I think is pretty serious about coffee, I'm probably just gonna get like a small latte or a cappuccino. If it's a place that, maybe not too nerdy about coffee, then I might get like a mocha, something to sweeten up the espresso a little bit if it's not very good. But it's probably going to be something decaf.
Now is the time. Decaf is having a moment.
Is it good?
There's some incredible decaf coffees out there.
It was you remember those stickers that said death before decaf, or there's all these like...
Yeah. That was you?
I don't think I was ever like that. I would laugh at it.
I saw a photo of you with your hair kind of slicked over and I think an earring, like very Blink-182 punk fade.
Yeah, well, that was a joke. That picture was a joke because I was getting my hair cut. My brother still cuts my hair, and I would cut it every 2 years, so it'd be really long. So that picture I think was a joke, but I definitely was a punk rocker.
We all had that phase.
Yeah.
I went to Summerfest.
Yeah. Oh no, I was in it, man. I wanted to be a rock star for sure.
Yeah.
Still play music, but not punk rock anymore. Although that would be fun. I have thought about that.
If anyone's watching that's in a band, I have this dream of performing one song live on stage. I should warn you now that I sing like my grandfather, and what that means is that people leave the pews around in that church. So then my last question is, if you could leave us with any piece of advice you've collected along the way that has worked for you or meant something to you. I always find that I collect information from the old timers, but not saying that's you, but you mentioned old timers earlier.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of an old timer now. Like business wisdom or...
Sure, business
life.
Or just generally something that you've heard along the way that you think, yeah, that made sense to me and I've applied it in my life.
I'm so bad at one-liners.
Doesn't have to be a one-liner, One of your employees is going through a moment. Well, what sort of advice would you offer about life?
I think business advice, I'll repeat what I said, which is find good people to work for you, or once you find good people to work for you, keep them happy.
Yeah.
To me, like if you are managing people, if you have employees, that would be my best bit of advice.
Yeah.
I think as philosophy for the coffee shop, this isn't going to be a one-liner. What I tell all my staff when I hire them is I say, there's two ends of the spectrum with the service industry. You have personability and you have professionalism. And a lot of people tend to go one way or the other. Like some people are really professional, good at their job, but they're not good at talking with people. And then you have people who are really social, really interactive, but they're not good at focusing and like taking their craft serious, like they're too, and I think coffee shops are that way too, where if you go to a big city, they may have the best coffee in the world, but they're all jerks.
Yeah.
Or they're just cold. It doesn't have to be jerks. They're just cold.
Sure.
And you go to a small town, usually the places that are busy are places that are warm, good customer service, everyone knows each other. But maybe they're not super worried about their quality of their products.
Right.
In a specialized way, like specialty coffee. So I always tell my staff, what I want here at our shop is try to do both.
Yeah.
And so if you're someone who is more personable, try to work on your professionalism, either with customer service and with your craft. Or if you're someone who's like, I really get into coffee and how to make coffee and all the extraction stuff, and I'm a nerd. I'm like, great. You need to work on your personality skills.
Everyone loves hearing that. Work on your personality. You're great except for your whole personality.
Work on your personal interaction skills.
Yeah.
And when you're a customer service person, you're acting in a way. I mean, I don't want people to be fake, but you're also on.
Yeah.
Like you're
that idea of being on.
You're on.
Yeah. You gotta be. You are here in service.
Yeah.
So your own stuff is not the most important thing in that moment.
And I want our coffee shop to be good at both of those things.
Yeah.
To be good customer service, warm, personable. We get to know our customers. Baristas have conversations with our customers. And we also take our coffee seriously. Mm-hmm. I want quality drinks. I want quality professional interactions as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my goal as a shop, is trying to provide both of those things. And I think maybe that's out of my own personality. I'm very social. I like my relationships with people. Like I said, it's one of maybe the most important reason I'm still doing coffee. But I also love nerding out and getting really good at latte art, or paying really good attention to the temperature of our milk, or how the shots are pulling, or all the nerdy stuff too.
I saw you with a latte earlier, or something. Did it have a rainbow in it? Did you try to do that?
That was Mackenzie.
That was Mackenzie. All right.
She's a great latte artist. She loves being creative, so she'll draw. She can do free pour rosettas really nicely, or she can draw a puppy dog in your latte.
That's amazing. I was really good at clouds for a long time. A lot of clouds in my lattes. Speaking of coffee, I need another one. Ben, thank you so much for the time and for joining Coffee People Podcast. If you're out there watching, this show is going to be out on all the platforms. You can just search for Coffee People Podcast. Check out our sponsor's website, roastery.com. Without them, we probably wouldn't be doing this show on location, so we really appreciate it. Or head to roastwestcoast.com, which is our website. Our newsletter comes out every week, and you get caught up on all of our episodes. 10-speed coffee bar in Hood River. It should be a stop. One thing I love about them is their social media is very random and very rare, which I appreciate.
Yeah, we don't.
It's better just to come in and say
we don't
hello.
chase
the likes and the
what's the
emotion.
word that everyone uses for the?
I don't know. That's my problem, is I don't know. That's why the show is.
Well, see, you're right on board with us.
Yeah, I'm all in. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
Cheers, everyone.
Glad to have you.
What should I get as a beer today? A double malt. Ooh, double malt.
Our flow and our
Everything might be
it's
a
all
little
going to be
off.
wacky,
Yeah, that's all right.
So you might get lucky and not have to pay for a whole lot.
We'll buy a few extra anyway then.
Danny.
So much, and I was like,
People walk in the back door and we don't see them.
That's a very restaurant hospitality management ownership thing that just happened there. Like, hey guys, hey, I've been
What's
there.
here?
I've done that.